Hello and welcome to a new episode of the PowerTV show, the series that offers you little clues for huge transformations. This is Silvia Camerini from pregnancyqueen.com and I'm your proud hostess. Today I'm really glad to talk about a very special topic that is in regards of the pink kit method. A method that helps you to birth at your best using your skills to feel confident about what you are going to do, childbirth. So I'm going to talk about the pink kit with the director of the Common Knowledge Trust, a registered charity in New Zealand. The mission of her organization is to promote a skill-based approach to all pregnancies and every type of birth. Also, to make available a home use resource of the skills that hundreds of families develop with her over a 15 years period from the early 1970s onward. She's Wintergreen, and I'm so delighted to have her here with me. So let's listen to what she's got to say about the pink kit and about her story that brought her to found the trust and really create an amazing and unique resource to help you birth better. Hello, Wintergreen, and thank you very much for being here and for contributing to the Power TV show with your presence.
Thank you, Sylvia, for inviting me. We met online. I had no idea that you had used the Pink Kit, nor did I know you were a Pink Kit affiliate. And it just moves me tremendously as the director of Common Knowledge Trust that you'd reach out to us and want to do an interview.
Yes, it's my pleasure to meet you and to have the chance to talk to you about the pink kit and about your story, actually. Would you like to share with our audience who you are and what you do for pregnant women and their families and how the pink kit was born, and especially what the pink kit is?
Well, in the early 1970s, I was a body worker, and your mother arrived, and she had a sore tailbone from having given birth to you. And when I felt her tailbone, it was very long, and mine wasn't. And so mine hadn't been hurt at birth. And I also worked with pregnant women who had bad backs. And people had lots of different stories. They're quite unique in who they are and their birth experiences or their desires for their coming births. But it wasn't an interest of mine. I was a body worker. But we found little by little that if we focused on the body in relationship to birth, that we could reduce and prevent many, like a sore tailbone. So families who came into my life, we just spent sort of a random 15 years. We didn't get together in a group. We didn't plan this. It was just little by little listening to people's stories. You know, I had back labor. I had pain in my hip. I had a delayed first stage. I had a delayed second stage. My baby didn't come into my pelvis. So when anything was related to the body, then we tried to figure out what skills we could develop to solve those problems or prevent those problems. So from the early 70s to really into the mid-1980s, the Pink Kit slowly developed the skills. We were able to launch edition 1 in 2000 because I don't come from a business background, so it took me a long time I carried everything in my mind for years. So basically, it was men and women, and that's what's very important about it. Mothers and fathers wanted skills. They wanted to feel as safe as possible in their baby's birth. They wanted the birth to be as safe as possible. They wanted to feel as confident as possible going into the unknown, because you never know what your birth's going to be like. So they wanted to feel confident and competent. They also wanted to stay on top of and in control of their birth experience, even if they had no control over any factor other than their own behavior. And everyone wants to look back on their baby's birth with pride and dignity and a sense of empowerment and pleasure over the experience, even if it was challenging, even if it was traumatic. And we found that skills created the ability to face those four things in a right manner. Choices were just beginning to be advocated, but many women didn't have choices. Many women's choices changed, or the unexpected happened, or all the choices unfolded, but the birth didn't unfold as they wanted. So we knew very early on that a choice-based approach to pregnancy and childbirth left too many gaps for too many families, while a skills-based approach to all pregnancies and every birth meant that every family, no matter their situation, could prepare their pregnant body to give birth, which was vitally important, and then to learn the birth and coaching skills so that the family could work together well as a couple or friends or family members, no matter how the birth unfolded. So that's basically how it started. It was created by families, for families to use in their own home. It wasn't created by birth professionals for families. It wasn't created for families for birth professionals. It was or for birth professionals to use or do on families. And from your experience, you know that. It's for families to use in their own home.
Thank you. That's great. Yes, the Pink Kit, it's really a method that contains a lot of resources all together. And you can definitely choose what you feel that is more appropriate for your lifestyle, for your beliefs, for your needs, actually. So how do you think the Pink Kit can be customized by the pregnant woman who chooses to follow it, and from her partner as well, or their family?
Well, that's a good question because it's a very large resource. It's a DVD with 8 segments, and those pretty much focus on how to prepare your body for childbirth, how to create space. So there's skills like the hip lift, the sacral maneuver, understanding how positions impact your baby, which most people don't pay any attention to, directed breathing, the pelvic clock, sit bone spread. And then there are 2 audio CDs. One is to help you prepare the soft tissue down there where the baby comes out. And the other is the birth journey, which is listening to contractions and how to use the skills in the 5 phases of each contraction. And then there are 40 ebooks broken up into topics. So where you'll birth, what kind of birth, then there are skills around the soft pelvis, the bony pelvis, breathing, communication, touch, teamwork, niggling labors. So it's all skills-based. And what we found were 2 things. One is people looked at the resource and said, oh my God, where do I start? To which we said, anywhere. It doesn't matter where you start. What's in your heart and mind? What are the gaps that you feel? That's important. Every pregnant woman and every expectant father has gaps. A father might want to know, how do I really birth coach? Right? So because this was developed by fathers as well as mothers, then there are skills-based resources in the Pink Kit that the man can look at. So the man and the woman don't have to look at the same resources at the same time. Fathers should read and do what he has an interest in. And the woman should do what she has an interest in. So she may have no fear of the pain of childbirth at all. She may feel very confident about the birth, but she may have a health problem and have no option but to go to a hospital, or home births aren't available in her country, or she can't have a midwife where she lives. So she's going to go to the hospital, but she wants to have as natural birth as possible. So she may want to know, how do you use the skills in a hospital setting? How do you work with the skills around all the assessments and the monitoring and the procedures that are the standards of care in the hospital? So what we encourage people to do is to browse through the resource. Just fast forward to the DVD, go, right? Look at all of the titles of all the books, because they're basically chapters. But we wanted some to go onto Nook and Kindle, so we created a different cover and an ISBN number for them. So what we want to do is to just browse through it. If something catches your fancy, learn. Sort of like how you learn to drive a car. You didn't learn to steer before you learned to use the gas. So with this, you want to learn an eclectic group of skills that you slowly bring together. And that's why we encourage people to start around 24 weeks. But in reality, is some people start 2 days before they give birth. And we tell people some skills are better than no skills. So the closer you get to the birth, the more those gaps really begin to rise up in you. So at 24 weeks, you might think, well, I don't have any gaps. I've planned where I'm birthing. I'm planning my birth plan. I'm planning my care provider. Got all my bases covered. I know what I'm taking. I know what I'm going to do. And at 32 weeks, you go, but I have to really do this. So I'm a bit nervous about what happens if I feel pain, right? At 34 weeks or 36 weeks, you may go, I really would like to think about what positions might be best. I'm going to be able to move into positions. At 38 weeks, you think, gee, do my husband and I really have our teamwork sorted out here? So then you can read the resource on teamwork. So as those gaps come in, fill them.
Thank you. Another important thing that I'd love to underline is that the Pink Kit really creates a common language, a language that you can use with your birthing team, and so to explain to the people who are helping you to give birth what you really are going through. And this common language really helps them to help you even better. So I think this is one of the hidden powers of this method. I also know, Wintergreen, that this is a very important moment in the story of the Pink Kit, because you are promoting crowdfunding to raise some money to really keep this resource alive and to update it as the digital era is asking. Would you like to tell the audience what this campaign is all about? And how can women who want to purchase the Pink Kit actually get it straight away?
Our crowdfunding is at Indiegogo, and it's the Pink Kit, and it is open until the 21st of November 2014. We're trying to raise $15,000 to start to redo it. So we're going to redo the visual in cartooning whiteboarding. And we're going to be able to bring a lot of the written content into the visual because of that. And we're going to streamline the written content down from these 40 chapters. And we're going to bring actually the internal work of how to prepare down there onto a very simple pencil graphics so that you can see which internal muscles you want to work with, because people have asked us to do that. So we want people to donate now, because the more money we raise, the faster we can get this done. If people want to purchase the Pink Kit, they can go to www.thepinkkit.com. And you and I talked about this. We want to offer a 25% discount for people who are purchasing through this, and the code is 25DISCOUNT, all in caps. And you'll go in and you'll register, you'll purchase the Pink Kit, go to the shopping cart, find an orange button, you'll have a coupon code that you'll drop in, and then the shopping cart will recalculate the 25% discount. This is a digital download. It is a large file. The DVD is a large file. You will get a welcome email from www.thepinkkit.com, which will land 50% of the time in your junk folder, right? So go find it, and then you will be able to access the digital download. There's also, once you purchase, I receive information from our shopping cart, and I send you that welcome email with the link for the calendar and also a reminder of what skills are in the resource, but also to let you know that if you really have trouble, that I will offer you a one-on-one consultation for absolute free so that you don't be overwhelmed. You're in Italy. Our trust is in New Zealand. You happen to be talking to me in the United States at the moment. But in no country is there a societal expectation that you really become skilled. That doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of childbirth preparation or education or information classes out there and lots of resources. But when you think about it, very few people are teaching you how to do the birth. The Pink Kit is unique because it is for all births rather than just natural births. It's unique because it's so body-centered in preparing your body, and it's unique because it was created by families for families in every type of birth. And it works with all of those other skills-based resources. So when you're thinking about your birth, you want to create the conventional birth plan about what you'd like and not like, even if you don't have birth providers who understand those things. You want to write down what you'd like, what you don't want, what you expect of them. And you want to create a skills-based birth plan, even if this is just what you take into your birth to remind yourself to use skills, right? Because if you go to the hospital, there's a tendency to say, they will take care of me. If you're having a home birth, when your midwife arrives, you think, she will take care of me. You are doing the birth, no matter where you're doing it. So you want to continue to use your skills. So your skills-based birth plan is a list of the skills that you have learned so that you remind yourself, this is an activity. We are doing this activity. It starts and you know you're in the birth, whether it's on the way to the hospital for a non-laboring cesarean or whether you're waiting for the midwife to get to your home. So you are doing the birth. So begin early to use your skills. Don't wait until it gets hard. Use your skills from early on. Increase the use of your skills as the labor or your birthing experience gets closer so that you deepen your capacity on a moment-to-moment basis to employ skills. And one resource that's in the Pink Kit that has been so helpful for women is the negative and positive voice, is to know that you may not have good thoughts about what's happening to you. But if you use your skills, then you're employing that management part of yourself. And you will recognize in yourself, I'm not having good thoughts, but I am managing myself well with these skills. And that is what has left so many families empowered, that capacity to manage themselves when what is happening to or around them isn't necessarily what they like.
The Pink Kit is a precious resource that the world needs. Basically, it raises the awareness of yourself and how your body works. And this is so pivotal because, you know, when you feel confident, then you are powerful. So I thank you very much for sharing this important message, so important message to women. Women can really be empowered through childbirth. And I really believe that with the Pink Kit, we can be the protagonists of this event in our life. So before to say goodbye, Wintergreen, is there anything else that you want to add? Is there any particular message that you want to share with the women of the world who are watching us?
Yeah, one is we want everybody to know that I'm going to interview you about your Pink Kit experience in a few weeks. So we want everybody to come back and hear your personal experience because I'm an old lady. one of my two babies was a pink kit birth, and he was 8 weeks premature in the hospital, unexpected. So, that's an empowered experience for me. And I used Lamaze with my daughter 12 years earlier. And I could see some gaps in how that system didn't quite work. But I guess that our message as a trust is, first of all, I was entrusted by families to do two things. One is to try to create a resource, which I've in a way have done. You've used it, so it was good enough. And to bring forward a message that we need families to be skilled. And your focus is on women. Our focus is on families, particularly fathers. And I know this is really hard to explain, but in any language, if a man is going to be at the birth, he needs to have the skills to know what to do, very specifically. There's been a message change. When I gave birth in 1970, fathers were called coaches. By 1982, when I gave birth to my son, they were called support, and they were told not to coach. Pink Kit is definitely about coaching, participation with, having the skills to share with your partner, that common language you mentioned. And why is that? Well, it was simple. As one woman said, the difference between a participating father and one who supports me is that a supporting father stands behind me while I change the nappies or the diapers and pats me on the back and says, "You're doing a good job," and that's not what I want. I want a man who knows how to change the diapers too, right? So he needs the skills. So when we look at birth as a family experience, and we want men and women to go into birth being skilled together, so that when they move from becoming a mother and father through the transition of birth to being a mother and father, that they do that as skilled human beings who happen to be men, who happen to be in a relationship, and happen to be having a baby. So I guess that's what I'd like to say, is we need to think beyond what we're thinking now, which is about the type of birth we're having, and to realize, as families said, we get pregnant to have a baby, not a type of birth. So every birth can be a skilled birthing experience.
Thank you, Wintergreen. Thank you for reminding us that a baby is really the fruit of two human beings. It's not just the fruit of a mother, but there's a father too. This is so important. And the transition of a family when a new baby comes, it's really a transition for all the members of the family. So the woman is changing during pregnancy, but the father is changing too, and all the other members, because maybe another little baby is becoming a brother or a sister, and then your parents are becoming grandparents. So everyone is really going through a transformation when a new baby is due. So thank you so much for reminding us this special and so important point of view. We are coming to an end of this wonderful interview. I'm so grateful you've been here with me today, and I'm looking forward to share my experience with you. So thank you very much, Wintergreen, and see you very soon for another wonderful interview.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you so much to Wintergreen for helping me to empower you in birthing at your best. Now you know that using your skills, you can really create a unique birthing experience based on your needs, on your beliefs, on what you feel really right for you. And you can also empower the other members of your family and of your birthing team who are helping you to give birth to your baby. Furthermore, your baby too will be empowered by this warm welcome to the world. Please share your comments below this video. Let me know what you think about this interview and about what it inspired in you. Let's make it an interactive experience through sharing with other mother women what your feelings are and which are your experiences as well. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, I send you my bright, bright blessings. Big hug from Sylvia, your mother women coach, doula, and magic maker. See you next time. Take care.